Johanna was a gifted child, and she had a clear mind. Her hunger for knowledge was insatiable. In spite of her youth, she had an innate wisdom way beyond her years.
Do you know its name?
Marigold.
And what does it do?
Helps us when we have a stomachache or when we've hurt ourselves.
Very good, little quail. You learn quickly.
So Father will teach me too.
We should get dinner ready. Right away.
Quid est beneficium dare?
No, beneficium. Don't you know the difference between a B and a D?
Keep trying, Johannes. Father will be back soon.
I cannot do it! What does it say?
The Psalm Confitable.
Confitable tibi domine in toto corde meo narrabo omnia mirabilia tua.
Where did you...
I've been listening. I want to read the Psalms too. I'm right. Will you teach me?
I cannot do that, little sister.
Why not?
Father would never allow it.
Why not?
Because it is forbidden for girls. It would be blasphemy.
And because girls cannot learn to read and write, just like Mother.
And just like you.
Oh.
Please, Matthew, I won't tell.
You are a wonder, little sister. And you know what you just wrote.
Lord, thy grace reaches as far as the heavens, and thy truth as far as the clouds.
St. Catherine would be very proud of you.
Who's that?
She lived centuries ago in Alexandria. Even though she was a woman, and still quite young, she was learned and wise.
Tell me more about her.
Catherine was a king's daughter. Among the pagan Romans, she dared to become a Christian.
How fare you, Knight Johannes? Will the heathen shrubs still not convert to Christianity?
They must, or they will all be killed.
Only you should give them time to make up their minds.
Where were we? Sword,
Rumpia,
heart,
core,
knowledge,
scientia.
Hollybush.
Even you don't know that one.
Oh, help!
Tell me that story again. About Woden.
Although he was already very wise, Woden always sought more knowledge. So he came to the well of wisdom. But the giant Mimir, guardian of the well, told Woden, wisdom is always bought with pain.
Please don't stop.
In return for a drink from the well, Mimi demanded one of Woden's eyes. Woden gave up one of his eyes, drank from the well, and passed his knowledge on to mankind.
To girls as well.
Tell me, child, do you know where the priest's house is?
Yes, sir.
And who are you, industrious girl?
I'm his daughter, Johanna.
God be with you, Johanna. My name is Aesculapius. I would very much like to speak with your father.
Your coming here shames me, sir. You were the schoolmaster. I should have searched you out.
I thank you, sir. And your wife. And your children. The bishop has told me of your misfortune. And that you would now like to send your second son to the cathedral school.
Johannes is a worthy replacement for his brother. He's a smart boy and eager to learn.
To meet such children makes the long journey worthwhile.
Though I was disappointed not to find any works by Plato.
Plato? His works are hardly appropriate study for a Christian.
So you don't find any significance in his works?
Faith is grounded on the authority of the Holy Scripture, and not on the writings of philosophers.
But you have to admit, our ability to think rationally is God-given.
From him alone.
Then why fear to expose faith to the light of reason? Since God himself gave us reason, how could it lead us from him? Doesn't fear of logic show a lack of faith, a faith in God's omniscience and in his love for mankind? A solid faith need have no fear, because if God exists, logic can only take us to him. Cogito ergo Deus est. I think, therefore, God exists.
Johanna felt the truth in Aesculapius's words, I think, therefore God exists. And she knew her father was wrong. Her love of knowledge was neither sinful nor unnatural. It was God's gift to mankind. Johanna had blamed herself for Matthew's death. But now she knew. Her desire to learn had not cost him his life. Matthew died because no one knew how to help him. She understood then and there that it was her duty to expand her knowledge and to put her abilities to work for the greater good.
Simile est grano synaps quod acceptum.
The boy is confused. Believe me, he can do better.
Autumn et cravit et.
You're a disgrace.
Let him go. God did not intend every child to study Scripture.
Simile est grano synapis, quod acceptum homo misit in autem suum, et cravit et factum est in arborem magnam, et volucres caeli requieverunt in ramis eos.
You know how to read?
And write. Matthew taught me.
How dare you?
I can take Matthew's place at the schola and study. I can make you proud, Father.
Unnatural creature, you have brought God's wrath down upon us.
Did you understand what you just read?
It is similar to a mustard seed that a man took and planted in his garden. And it grew and became a tree. And the birds of the sky lived in its branches.
And what do you think is meant by the mustard seed?
Perhaps it's faith, planted in the heart like a mustard seed in a garden. And if you tend to it, a big tree will grow from it. But perhaps it also means the church. It too started like a mustard seed, small and in the dark. But thanks to Jesus and the apostles, it grew and grew.
She must have persuaded her brother to teach her behind my back. I will punish her accordingly.
And the birds that nest in the branches?
They are the faithful who find salvation in the church. The mustard seed could also represent Jesus Christ, for he was like a seed when he was buried, and like a tree when he was resurrected and rose towards heaven.
Thank you.
You heard that? The mustard seed is a symbol of faith, of the church and of Christ. A classical, scriptural exegesis. Your daughter displays an extraordinarily sharp mind.
I will teach her.
A girl. You're not serious.
I am.
Of course, they would never approve her enrollment at the Schola.
I will come and teach her here as often as I can.
What about the boy?
Forgive me, but the Schola is not for your son.
He is to be passed over while a mere girl gets to study the Holy Scripture. Out of the question.
It would be sacrilege to waste such an alert mind.
No. Either you teach both, or neither.
is by Cicero, the greatest orator Rome ever knew.
And they let you bring it?
No. But why should only the boys of the cathedral school be the ones to enjoy the offerings of the library? The academy in Athens stood for 1,000 years. Then Emperor Justinian forbade it, and the great age of the philosophers ended.
So where could you study their writings? How could all that knowledge be preserved for so long?
Well, in that same year, St. Benedict founded his monastery near Cassino. Soon, many others were built, and within their protected walls, the legacy of the wise Greeks and Romans could be handed down through the centuries. The Earth is the center of the universe. We are encircled by crystal shells, the spheres, to which the planets are attached. Pythagoras says they even make music as they turn. I have bad news. Another man has applied for the position of schoolmaster, and the bishop thinks he is better suited than I.
No, that cannot be.
I will go to Byzantium, and I will do whatever I can to make sure your precious gifts do not go unused.
You know full well that I cannot condone this new whim of yours. It goes against God's will to accept a woman at the cathedral school. It is also pointless. Women do not possess natural ability to draw logical conclusions. The useful sections of the female brain are so small, women are incapable of understanding higher ideas or concepts. St. Paul himself has asserted this truth, that women are subservient to men as determined by the order of creation, hierarchy, and strength of will.
Well, young scholar, have you nothing to counter with?
How can woman be second to man in creation? She was made out of Adam's rib. Adam, on the other hand, was molded from common clay.
Go on.
As for strength of will, woman can be viewed as superior to man. Eve ate from the apple out of love of knowledge and learning. Adam ate only because Eve asked him to.
Is there a mistake in the writing?
Well, no. But still, your hand, it is not sure enough here and here. What excuse do you have for such slovenly work?
I have no excuse, sir.
To atone for your carelessness, and so you may learn the meaning of humility, you will clean the floor tonight. During that time, you will contemplate the writings of St. Paul about the position of women. Do you know them?
I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over man, but to be in silence.
You ought to remember it well.
Yes, schoolmaster.
Forgive me, Reverend Father. This woman is not a leper.
What are you talking about?
Her lesions are different, must therefore have a different origin.
God has marked her. We must not contradict his will.
She is marked, but not by leprosy. Will God be pleased if we consign to a living death one who he himself has not elected?
Let me treat this woman so we do not make a sinful mistake.